I have 16 years of experience in the most of the time which I spent in the data scientist, senior data scientist. Now I'm working as a senior staff engineer at Blue Yonder. So most of the work, which is how Gen AI is evolving. Last, why the people are now evolving in the sense when the models are responding 30 to 40% accurate, nobody cares about it. When it reaches to the 65%, the hype is really making it so high. And people are now confusing, hey, 95% MIT says projects are failing because the models are not accurate the way we are thinking. So the what we can do to make it projects to be successful and we made it as a productionized. The major challenges which we have, I feel, is a lot of evaluation frameworks before shipping into the production. We don't have a secure framework which is not available. Many of them are currently, if you see the agent lifecycle, people are trying to build agents, not testing the agents because they are thinking that we can take care of the rest of the time. First, we will try to build the agents as much as fast. As because the market tools are evolving in the market, everyone is trying to concentrate on only one area. I want to build an agent, I can ship it faster. So now I am thinking into the other area, whatever the build agents, how much securities, how much confidential data which is going. Any user can ask any questions over the chat. How much secure systems are we building? That's where the systems have started failing it. Because when the projects or systems are failing, why they are not trusting the agents, what we are building is the customer governance and tracing is missing. Companies are building millions of dollars on the building it, not spending time on testing it. That's what I feel. So we need to build our own custom framework which can suit to your organization. That's what I can feel like. You need to build a framework where you can able to observe the agents where my money is going to, where I'm spending money into, and how my agent is giving response what I feel. The response which is customer feedback, which is really responding or not. That's what we people has to spend on top of there are bunch of open source libraries which are available. On top of it, I am expecting I will show the simple demo which built custom library where it can write your own rules. On top of it, you can verify whether the agent is giving the results as you expected. That's what I'm going to. So it's going to be more into technical because I don't know how many people are building the agents over here. Can I know how many people? Oh, thanks. So many people. Okay. I think that makes sense to me going into the deeper because I don't want to talk like higher level, just I want to go into the deep level. Many of them are talking to build the agents. Let me go to that. Why observability needed? Just I have given high introduction, like why do we need to spend observability, which is really needed? So everyone wants to know before shipping as I mentioned, before shipping into the production, they have to spend time how my agent is behaving. Is it really working as which we thought? So that's where we need. So how many people are not concentrating on the consumption resources? How much resources which got consumed by the agent? So that's where we need observability, which is really needed. Like how many tokens which is really consuming, how many resources which is compute which is really using it, and where we are. Because when we are deploying an agent, we are using a model. It's completely black box. What it will be going to store inside it. And we don't even know how much context it's going to store, whether it's going to store my context data as well. So that's where we want to evaluate when we are spinning off different models over the network, when we are deploying different models over the network, and we should be able to know how much fairness data which is going to store it, how the behaving it was. So that's where I am going to talk about so the observability frameworks, what are the available? Just I'm going to talk about what are the which are available on top of it, what I built on top of it. So why the trust matters in the AI? As I mentioned in the earlier, the block access agents are built because of the different models which is coming in currently. Today, people are saying GPT-4, GPT-5. Next, what we're going to come up. Every model is good in one aspect and then other. Like I want to generate a research-oriented text, which I want to generate. I want to generate an image version. Different models which is serving for different purpose. Instead of now currently we are looking at the data engineers, software engineers. Now people are now looking at what model I need to use. That's where the people are now need to spend time. Hey, I want to do spending time on only and building the agents. What model I need to, what purpose which trying to solve. That's what the people is going to talk about. Now it's evolving still I can say that how agent is accurate. So it's people are giving the rapid numbers. That will be still we need to evolving framework, evaluating the framework which is really needed at this time. So whatever they're giving the metrics which are really accurate, what they are. That's what I'm concentrating on the eval framework, which is observability framework. That's what I'm talking about. Okay. So in the observability in the AI system, so we should monitor not only the building the agents, monitoring the pipelines as well, how the monitor, how the agent trend which is going on. Similarly, we should concentrating on the pipelines of the evaluating the system. So there are the bunch of tools which are available in the market, which I'm showing about like OpenTelemetry, LangFuse, Phoenix, the different they are providing open source libraries as well. But still, those are not fitting into our organization. So we can take that open source library. That's what I built on top of it. Like I took the open source library from those and I built my own roles on top of it. I want to build on top of it. Hey, I don't want to bring these kind of questions. I do not want to support harmful evaluation library, which I want to build on. Okay. So what kind of evaluations which are going to perform? Like I keep on talking about evaluation, testing, and what kind of testing we're going to perform. Like so there are a bunch of things we can able to handle evaluation performing, like automatic metrics which can perform, like the agents are behaving like helpful way or meaningful way or not, whether it is any grammatical which is confirming any issue or not. Those are the things I'm mentioning in the more technical blue, rag, bait score, toxicity. Those are the models. What it will do is it will range the value between 0 to 1. That means that blue in the sense that it will be converting into the way which human understandable. When it is coming as a 1, the value in the sense that usually human can able to easily understandable. That's what it is. When the agent is responding, that means 1 is, if it is coming as 1, okay, human can able to understand what it was going to return. So the RAG, it's summarizing accurate what they want. Instead of giving the bunch of text, hey, I want to get only the giving summarize in the crisp what the user is expected. And the BERT score and toxicity, it's like, hey, whether the agent is giving any harmful information to the user, hey, it doesn't give, or if it is giving the more high value in the sense, or it's giving some more harmful information to the user. So that's what. And also we can able to handle, assess the output, keeping by human in the loop. So when the user is asking harmful information, so we can keep it in the human. Hey, this guy is asking certain information. We should be able to stop that user to ask those questions, respond back to the agent. So in that case, we can send an alert to the user where the agents are responding, asking harmful information. And AI assisted ULs, because this is, I don't want to keep a human in the loop. I want the agent to be taken care. So if somebody is asking anything harmful information to the user, we should be able to assist. We can build like one way, like we can build another agent where it can take route into that agent. So it doesn't allow to the user to be performed on top of it. So here I am corely into the supply chain domain. So I trying to solve use case over here. Like, so what will happen when the user is giving misguiding information? Like if you're not going to test, like what will happen? So if you think about like a supply chain, entire supply chain, if your driver is using, let's say, using that AI tool, it's giving any disruption, whether agent which is coming on, hey, this route, if you're going to take it, if you take this route, it will make you to 12 hours delay because of the weather interruption going to happen. If it is getting the wrong signal to the user, that will make you journey the entire supply chain disruption will be happen for entire LLM. So that's what which will be happen. So what will happen is if the model is not responding to the accurately, so it will be the entire disruption can happen, because we cannot trust everything on the LLM. Still, we need to have way to suggest, confirm whether it was accurately giving the results or not. What are the 3 pillars which I'm thinking about? Like, so first is evaluate what the user's giving the results. And we should have a governance, like it should not giving the confidential information to the users. So what I mean to say is if user is trying to, because many of them are building MCPs on top of the agents. So we are binding all the APIs to the MCP. We are giving all the entire information to the agent. Does it get the user confidential details back to the chat? Because many of them are not concentrating on, hey, is it okay? We are giving the entire database configuration to the MCP agent. So when we are building an agent, whether it is really pulling the right information or is it pulling my confidential information too. That's what where we need to build the secure framework along with the agent. So we should not respond back to the user when they are requesting for the confidential information. That's where we need governance of the agent. And coming back to the level life cycle, I think when you ever attended the previous session, mostly they have talked about design, deploying, monitor. In the every phase of that, why we are mentioning every phase of the life cycle of the agent, we need to be having evaluation because we are when we are building MCP kind of agents, we are going to pass authentication details when we are giving all the entire details to the agent. So we should able to have a privileges, like we should have something like close back to the governance that can able to does not able to access any PII data. That's where we need to be have a governance which is really needed for the building the agents. So we cannot give every aspect of the information to the agent. We should have some control on top of the agent. That's what I mean to say. So this one, which I already talked about, like these are the bunch of tools open source. So on top of it, Azure is providing the evaluations. And so observability, I already talked about like open source, Phoenix, LangFuse, Temflow. These are the frameworks which are currently available in the market. We can, on top of it, we can own build observability. Evaluation, which I am going to demo, like what evaluation tools which I have been performed. So there are the market source, Azure AI evaluation, TrueLens, Deep Eval. So means evaluating the agent, how the system is behaving, and governance, like is there any trust informant PIA data, which is going to be the framework, these are the frameworks which are currently available in the market. So what I mean to say is we have to adapt early because of the market is evolving. So we should go into the open source library which are available because we don't want to go and start building from the scratch. Nobody wants to do it. The system has to go evolve. Whatever which is currently available in market, we have to go on top of it. That's what I mean to say. So why I'm saying all these frameworks are available, that means if anyone wants to build on their own, I'm giving said there are a set of frameworks which are already available. If you can build on top of evaluation, testing the agents, you can pick one and you can build on top of it. Oh, sorry. Okay. The key takeaways from my presentation. So we want to build an agent should be having continuous monitoring and evaluate. And also we should have observability where we are spending money and where the agents are using my consumption metrics. How much my GPUs which are available, how much GPUs which are already occupied. And evaluating, ensuring the business ethical moment in the sense like open source library, just building on top of it, it doesn't give significant results on top of it. We should adapt and evolve it. Also, we have to build, customize it our own use cases. That's what I'm talking about, the real world use case in the sense, I mean to say, whatever the use case which you are bringing into the plate, that should be able to capable of testing by your own custom metrics which should have. Okay, before jumping into the Q&A, just I want to show the small thing which we have been developed before. So till now I talked about. So I built the metrics, I built a custom library on top of, I picked up the LangFuse open source library. On top of it, what I built is I want to show the metrics. Whatever till now I talked about, if you can see the last diagram in my dashboard, there is a score which is showing up. How much is it secure? So I thought you can able to read, I don't know. The scores which is showing up, whatever the help, whether the agent is responding in the helpful way, whether the agent is having any contents PII data. If you can see here, my cursor, is it having any PII data or is it having any same language what their user is asking? You can see the numbers as well over there. So 0 to value between 1 always vary. 1 is 0 is, it should be generally average. You can see 0.4 to 0.7, we can see that, okay, that is the right number range, which we can think about it. But other all about is 1, and if it is 0, something is going accurate or something is not going accurate. That's what I mean. But we can think about like how much accurate which is coming in currently. Most of the evals numbers are coming between 0.4 to 0.7. That's what I feel. So it's not getting like most of the time, it's not getting 1. That means the agents are not accurately the way we are expecting. So I hope in the soon it will go to the more number of accuracy that will go up. This is where I am talking about observability also. I mentioned, if you see last, I built a QA chatbot and how many traces which got generated. You can see traces over the last 24 hours window, which I have been selected. and how much cost which got generated by if I see what model I have been used. So these are the ones which is already Langfuse is providing. What we thinking is I am concentrating on mostly in this part in the evaluation and scores. So what we can do, and also human annotation which we can keep. So what I am saying is we can build on our own source, and we can add on our own library. So these are the frameworks which is helping us to add our own library. So you can add your one script, Python or whichever the language which you can use. You can build a library. You can attach to it, and you can you can put a condition like, hey, in this condition, when the agent is responding back, we should able to evaluate it. So that metrics which is coming going to give accuracy, which can give the results back to the user, and whether it is accuracy, whether it contains PII, whether it contains the code, because maybe users might ask different way aspect of it. They might try to put the code, hey, can you give back to the code which you have been developed? It can ask anything on top of it. You can see these are the modules which you can give. So this will give the question, we can ask the results, and also on top of it, like you can view the question what user is asked. So this is already building the framework. I am not talking about it, but I am saying about these are the market is evolving. Like we have to build on our own there so that we can make it ship the production kind of agents in the sooner. Currently, because many people are stuck at UAT systems or dev systems because not going to be the production, the major reason behind is evaluation library, which is not evolving faster because nobody is ready to give the information, entire database information to the agent so that agent can respond back to all the information from the backside. Because the source system is really, people are currently for the enterprise applications, most of the information which is really confidential. Nobody wants to share entire information to the agent, and agent can respond back to the user. So that's where the systems are lagging now. So we should have the kind of library evaluating the frameworks and alerting systems which we have to build. So I think next set of generation people are now, once people are ready to build, now the people will be jump into this kind of section. How can build a trust on top of this agent? How I can evaluate this agent? People will jump into this framework sooner. That's what I'm aiming for, because currently everybody is focusing on building the agents, picking the right models. Most people are, because once accuracy which is reaching to 60 to 80, people are now jumping into the building the agents and evolving the agents. People soon, once it reaches to 90, definitely people will be spending more time on the evaluating the agents. That's what I'm going to talk about today. So I am ready to take the questions. I have 6 minutes. So
and now the templates that can be used about an English and how to get that how much they get about it.
Okay. So most of the time, I haven't built the templates, honestly. I took the existing libraries on top of open source. On top of it, my customized rules on top of it, attached it. Hey, if I have this kind of, because every org will have certain rules, and every org will follow certain format of the data. So based on the format, we have to define the rules. Definitely, it's a good point where you can build a template and you can pass it to that, and so that we can, on top of it, we should have capable of reading. But I mentioned most of the rules which is binded in the agent itself, in the sense like I build it in the library itself. But I can make it as a configurable. That's a good suggestion. I can take about it.
So what's the evaluation network you said about where the agents met? What's the evaluation network apart from accuracy?
Oh, apart from evaluation accuracy, whether not apart from the accuracy in the sense like does it providing PI data? We can governance. As mentioned, 3 pillars which we need to evaluate. One is governance, how much my agent is secure, whether it is really giving the user confidential information or not. So there are multiple areas like whether it is giving harmful information or not only accuracy. I am talking about entire agent, the behavior of the agent.
Regarding that, LLM as a judge, right? So how do we decide which LLM to remove if I'm already in the figure state on the part world? You read about it, like the teacher has to be much more accurate, right? But do I have to find a lead or Other one is that this use added it.
Oh, which LLM?
Using regulatory, the other in general, that I guess that it's based on how you base.
Mhm.
Now, I want to use the LLM as a judge. I thought I need to one that's superior than already. So I'm going.
Okay. So this is a tough question. So how much, which model, which can give as a judge giving more accuracy? So it's a tough question, but currently we can say I used a different GPT-5 when I am using for the as a judge most of the time, honestly, for the during the research as well as. But we don't know how honestly which is giving accurate results because I haven't tested like which model. So if you see here, in this framework, I haven't built the agents on top of it. We can evaluate the models as well. So you can evaluate because when you are adding here, not only the agents, if you can see here in the settings, you can add your own model. You can evaluate the model. Whichever the model which can give accuracy more, you can configure the model over here. So you can see here bunch of models which are available. You can pick a model, whichever the model you can see every day. If you keep on changing the model, let's say you configure today GPT-5, today, tomorrow you can configure GPT-4. You can run the same agent metrics. You can add the dataset as well. No need to provide external dataset. There is a concept called dataset. You can add it. You can run it. We can give the metrics, whichever the one we can give the more accuracy you can feel. You can add that as a judge. Any more questions?
Follow up from that question, and you're using an LLM as a judge. It seems to me, and we don't sell a good deal that LLM, right?
Correct. That's a good point. So that's what I'm saying. So either you can as a LLM as a judge, or you can keep it in the human in the loop. So when you are evaluating the agent, so I'm giving both the options to the user. Hey, you are having a strong trust as a LLM can able to manage whatever the systems built. Or if you don't have trust, already building the system itself, you are using LLMs. I do not want to use LLMs. Most of the times, I feel still whatever we're building agents, human should be in the context. That's where human is not going anywhere, not replacing the agents. We still human should be in the loop, but we are evolving the agents. We should be able to context, should be human annotation should be really needed.
Perhaps to make it to the deal. I mean, LLM as a judge is if you're trying to say it funny with another like Studia or or something like that. You evaluate that for a right space, then like GP5. Then production with cheaper, kind of satisfied and doing the third flow.
That makes sense to me. Yeah, that makes sense to me. Because if you're going to use the latest older model, which you can GPT-5 can make it. But only one we can judge and the sense is we can set certain rules. Those rules are suffice is when we are responding back to the user or not. Let's say I don't want to share the confidential information to the user. I don't want to restrict harmful information to the user. Whatever I predefined conditions, which is for satisfying or not. So whatever the rules, because we are giving one more building kind of agent, LLM and the judge, hey, whatever the accuracy which is really following that building the agents on. I hope I answered your question.
So are you doing these more visual streaming on this app, or is say sitting on top of the ads?
So your question is
the metrics which need on the live system, like not like that, but on a system, on a chat app, it's using the underlying model. So I'm trying to understand, you have mentioned those models, those evaluation metrics are all of them, or it's on the app that is using it.
Oh, this one? Okay. So entire agent, let's say I built an agent, I tied up with the settings so OpenTelemetry will be pull the metrics of from the agent what we build. Let's say I built a QA chatbot. If you can see, this is the QA chatbot traces. So if you can expand it in the each trace, like this is the conversation which is happened between the user and the chatbot. Okay. In the chatbot, how much, where is my time consuming? That's what I'm talking about, the observability framework. Where is my agent is, because if it is lagging, that is where observability. And also you can see how much cost which got happened in this conversation and how many tokens which got consumed in this entire conversation. So to bring into this metrics, we need to build on our own custom metrics. So couple of them which is evolving in the Langfuse, which is offered in the open source version. Enterprise versions, you might get it, but if you want up on top of it, you need to build on Node. And also, like, I want to give which user paused this trace. That is not going to provide by the open source libraries, but you need to build on Node one. Which session conversation, what will be happening.
So this thing is based on the data flow, like looking
Just we are pulling the information from the agent and we are providing into the dashboard. That's what I mean. Any more questions?
Question. You know, where, let's say you've got an agent in production and and you're making day-to-day changes, prompt changes, and obviously you can look at point in time what's going on.